Hey folks, if you're looking to modernize your older Civic, these Android Auto / CarPlay heads are an excellent upgrade. Now in this video, I try to keep my videos very detailed and hopefully leave you with no questions unanswered, but I'm going to do the tear out. I'll go over all of the wiring, and of course I'll do the install, and at the end I'll show you some of the features. I also show you live how to connect to Bluetooth and how to connect to CarPlay. So, you know, I know there's a lot of these heads out there. I've done several installs here over the past year and a half. I've worked with this seller before. They actually sent me this head for an install video into this generation Civic, and this is actually my buddy's Civic, so he's very happy. But anyhow, if you appreciate the video, please give it a thumbs up, and also the links for this unit and everything else I talk about will be in the video's description. Let's get into this. Okay, so let's start with the tear out of the old radio. Now the first thing you need to do is get this piece of trim out so we can release the radio. It's held on by one fastener over here on the left side of the steering wheel. To get to that, just reach down the trim piece under the steering wheel, give it a tug, and it will just pop right out. And you will now see a screw right on the left side. You'll see it. I'm not going to move the camera, but remove this screw. Okay, screw has been removed. Now we just need to pop this trim piece off, and to do that, just start on the left side and start giving it some gentle tugs. And there is one connector on the left side, so that's just a thumb press connector. That trim piece is out of the way. Now one thing I did notice was this radio was moving, so I'm assuming this radio has been out prior, but there's actually two screws underneath we need to remove to get the radio to now pull out. So that's, let me show you where those are located. So to access the two screws beneath the radio, there's a trim piece right here, a little panel. Just get your trim tool in there, pop the panel down, pull it out, and then you'll find two screws up underneath here. I'll move the camera and show you in a second. And as I said, I think they're already removed from this radio since this thing is so loose. And I hope you can see there's two. They are missing on this radio, but I believe they're Phillips heads, so either just get a short stubby screwdriver in there or get a socket with an extension in a right angle and take those two out. So once you get those two screws out, you're ready to just pop the radio out. So again, just start on the left side since you can get your hand under here and give it a tug. And of course you got connectors on the back, so don't pull it off of here too hard. Now let me show you the back side here and how to get these connectors off. Okay, so there's the back side of the radio. It's completely disconnected. Now there's some connectors on the bottom for the climate control and the airbag and your hazard light over here, and then your connectors for your radio. Now these are all very simple to remove. They're just basically push tabs, so you just push the tab and pull them out. They're all that way. This one here on the radio, it's on the side, but very simple, very easy to get the radio out. I'm probably only, what, 5 minutes into this, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head into the kitchen and I'm going to show you everything you get with a kit and kind of explain the wiring to you. I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks that hopefully avoid installation errors and problems. So let's head into the kitchen. Okay, real quickly, let me go over what you get with a kit. Now, you know, you get the head unit itself, and it does come with this nice piece of trim that makes it look like an OEM install. And just note, it does have an internal mic. Really nice color match here. Now you get this big RCA bundle. Don't let this thing intimidate you. It's just like a generic bundle that comes with all these Android style installs. The only thing we're going to be using here is if you decide to plug in the external mic, which they provide, it gets plugged into that. And then on the back side of the head here, there's also a power connector. This particular seller has a fan to keep things cool, and we need to plug it into there. Now you get a GPS antenna. Now if you're using CarPlay or Android Auto, you don't really need to plug this in, but I suggest plugging it in because there is a speedometer function on the head, and it'll allow that to work. and also just the general Android system time. It always bugs me if it's incorrect, so I would just suggest connecting that. You get 2 USB cables. Now, again, you don't need to plug these in if you don't want to, but I'm going to plug them in and just dangle them off into the glove box. But, you know, if you have external media, you know, something on a USB stick or something, you can plug it in and listen to your music there, or of course, charge your phone. Now, this is an important one. This is actually your backup camera. Now, even if you don't plan to install the backup camera, you need to plug this in. The reason being is these 2 little wires, that's your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antennas. And if you don't plug it in, you're going to have poor connectivity. And, you know, that's one thing you see with a lot of these negative reviews on these type installs. They talk about poor connectivity. I would assume that the folks just didn't plug that in. So anyhow, that's a tip for you. Now, this is the main, wiring harness back to the OEM radio. You have your FM antenna plug that gets plugged into the head unit. And also take note, there's this wire here that says reverse. It might say back. It might depend. It might be a different color. But that will get spliced to one end of your backup camera cable that goes to the rear of the car. And of course, they give you the backup camera and the backup camera power cable. Now, when I'm doing the install, I'll cover this a little bit more cleanly. And they also give you a trim tool and a screwdriver. And this is to some double-sided sticky tape to install your backup cam. But one thing I will do is I will link in a license plate frame bracket that I prefer to use. That way, you know, sticky tape, I don't trust it, and also it keeps you from drilling more holes into your car. So I'll link that into the description below too. So let's start transferring. One thing we need to do is we need to take some pieces off of here and get them connected here. So let's start doing that right now. So on the back of the original unit, we need to take the vent off, airbag light, hazard light, and of course the climate control. So you'll just see several Phillips head screws holding all these things on. So I'm going to respect your time. I'm not going to bore you with that, but I'm going to take all those screws out and I'll be right back with you. So where I'm at right now is I have the vent moved over and the hazard light moved over. 3 screws holding that one, 2 screws holding that one. Now the airbag light does not have an opening here, so I'm just gonna plug that back into the OEM connector and zip tie it off somewhere so it doesn't bounce around. Now I did reinstall the 2 screws for the airbag light in case we ever do want to put the OEM radio back in. Now, and I do have the 4 screws for the climate control out. Now what I need to do now is flip this over, and I'll put the phone on the stand, but these knobs are keeping this thing from releasing. So you basically push on these knobs to get this out. And I don't know if these are keyed or not, but I'm going to leave the black mark in the 12 o'clock position on both. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, let's see if we can get these out. So yeah, steady pressure on the middle. And she is released. Of course, make sure you take the screws on the backside out before you do that, or else you'll be pushing for quite a while. So now we can move this one over to the new unit also. So I have the 4 screws on the back of the climate control, and then yes, I'm just going to lift these knobs out, and I believe they just push right back on here. There you go. And it looks like they are keyed, so I'm glad I left that up. Okay, so now the last thing you need to transfer are the clips. And let me show you what I'm talking about. All these white clips all the way around, and I believe there's also some metal clips. Yes, you need to pop these off and transfer them to the new radio. So you need some patience here. Typically what I do is I'll get a pair of tweezers or something and get them, or a small screwdriver on each side, and then these will pop off. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but yeah, just take your time and then move them on over, and we'll be ready to start plugging in the wiring harnesses. Actually, let me show you how I do this. I know these can be frustrating. Like I said, I get in on one side, and then I got a little screwdriver on the other side. Basically, you just kind of spread the bottom out a little bit, and then those pop right off. And then, of course, you just transfer that to the new one. And then with the metal clips, the trick I use there is you'll see this metal tab here in the middle. You bend that up a little bit, then this will slide right off. And then before you put it back on the other one, then you just got to bend that back down where it was, and it'll catch. So hopefully that tip helped you there too. Saved you some frustration. All the clips are transferred over, and I'm ready to start plugging in the cable harnesses. Now with the main power harness, this black one, it plugs in right here. Then it has the FM antenna. That plugs in right there. And then you'll see a series of 5 white plastic connectors here, and we have 4 things we're going to be plugging into those. The main RCA bundle adapter, and once again, this one has that power connector, and again, this one has a fan. That'll plug in to there. And then we have the backup camera input right here, and then the 2 USB ports. Now, all of these are different pin counts, so you can't plug it into the wrong one. Now, I typically reserve the GPS and the external mic for when I get out into the car. I route them first and then plug them into the back of the radio. It's just easier that way. So let me get these plugged in and I'll be right back with you. So I just want to summarize exactly what I've done here. So all the harnesses are plugged in. As you can see, this one is unused. Now, when you're installing these harnesses, make sure you do get them fully seated. And again, this is the backup camera input. And even if you're not installing it, install the harness, because this is your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi antenna. And as you can see, I do already have it connected to the long cable that goes to the back. And then this wire here needs to get spliced into this reverse wire where it might say back. You need to connect those two, so I just used a crimp splice. You can do it any way you'd like. A few other things, here is that fan power. Make sure you connect that. And of course, the FM antenna, make sure it gets plugged in over here. But yeah, we're ready to head out to the car and get this thing plugged in. So back in the car, and I've done a little bit of prep work. Now, the first thing I did was I put the external mic right here, and all you need to do is get your trim tool under here to get that underneath the trim. And then this piece actually just pulls out, and you can route it down through here. I pop this piece of trim off, and then I have it running underneath the steering wheel, and it is coming out right here. And of course, that gets plugged into this black connector. Now, I tuck the GPS antenna up underneath here. Again, this isn't super important, but it'll allow the Android time to work and also the speedometer function if that's of interest to you. And that connector will get plugged in right here. And then I also have taken the reverse cable and I dropped it down through the back here. As you can see, it's sitting on the floor, and that's ready to be routed to the back however I want to do that. Now, I did plug the airbag light in right here, and I have it zip tied off. Now, all I need to do right now, and I won't bore you with this, but I'm going to plug these 3 connectors into those 3 connectors. And then, of course, these 2 connectors back into here. And then we will be ready to power this thing on and see if it works. Hey, so I got everything snapped back in here. Just be careful when you're doing it. You don't pinch any wires and you don't get a wire in front of your AC vent. Now, one thing I did forget to mention was I dropped the USB cables into the glove box, so they're here for use if somebody wants to use them. And another thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, I did disconnect the battery. It's best to do that just, so you don't short something out electrically, or if you're in your car a long time doing this install, you don't kill your battery with your dome light on. So anyhow, I am ready to apply initial power, and let's see what this thing does. I got all kind of hazards on, and there we go. So yeah, you can see it's booting. It typically takes about a minute initial boot to boot up, but man, how do I turn these off? This is not my car, so I do not know. But yeah, it takes about a minute to boot up initially, but then immediately as soon as you turn the car on, it'll be booted. Okay, to respect your time, I let it finish booting, but let me show you how fast it boots on a normal start. So if your car's off, turn it on, it boots right up. So let me just show you a few things here real quick. If you go into your applications, everything you need's up here. You can get into settings, car settings. There's some apps already preloaded, YouTube and such. You can go to the DSP and set, your frequencies you want. However you want to hear them. It actually has like news, jazz, city, pop, all that type of stuff. If you press that, it'll change the equalizer. Your balance fader controls right there. Move that around wherever you want to put it. Full vehicle mode puts it back in the middle. So skins, there's also a bunch of skins on here. Go into application, I think it's called theme. Yeah, go to theme, and you can change the way the head looks. I mean, depending on what widgets and such you might want on there, you can actually change it on the head, so you don't have the the regular factory boot screen. Like there's one. So anyhow, when my wife gets home from work, I'll you know, I need her phone, that way I can film and show you how quickly it connects to Bluetooth and connects to CarPlay and stuff like that. And then I'll show you a few more features. But as you can see, yeah, this thing worked perfectly right out of the box, booted right up, no issue so far. Okay, so we fast forwarded a few hours here now, and I do have my wife's cell phone. I have it opened up to the Bluetooth settings. Now this is an Apple, but of course it'd be very similar for an Android. And then you just go to the Bluetooth menu here, or the Bluetooth app. And on her phone, I see the car manufacturer's name, and then I just hit pair, allow, and as you can see, her phone is pairing. So it's just that, absolutely that simple. And then it also, since you know, I have an Apple phone, it's asking if I want to connect to CarPlay. So I connect to CarPlay, and the first time here it might take 10 or 15, 20 seconds to connect, but once again, after it's connected, like when my girls, I have these in their Honda Accords, as soon as they start the car, they start backing out of the driveway, and it connects within 10 or so seconds. So yeah, here, CarPlay's up. If you're familiar with CarPlay, you should, you know, we got the maps, and then of course all the apps and such for CarPlay. So actually, I realized I forgot to talk about the backup camera. So I'm not going to do a backup camera install, but I do have one for my girls' Honda Accords, 8th gen Accords, and it's pretty much exactly the same. Now, routing it to the back is a little different. I routed it through my center console. You could do that here probably, or else just route it, you know, behind the steering wheel and down through your trim along the side, the driver's side. Taking the back seat out's pretty much exactly the same. I think the 10mm bolt's just on the other side. It's on the passenger side in the Civic. But once you get to the back, how you wire it into your reverse lights and all that is exactly the same. Where to drill the hole, the license plate, frame bracket, all that stuff, I will you know, link it into the video's description, so you'll have that handy for you. So anyhow, but before I show you some features here, if you appreciate my video, you know, I try to keep them very detailed, please give it a thumbs up. It just helps bring it up into the YouTube algorithm, and will help other people have a successful install. So let me just show you a few of the features of the head. Now, this won't be an in-depth tutorial in any way, but you know, I've backed out of Apple CarPlay. If you want to get back to CarPlay, all you need to go do is swipe over to the Z-Link app. That's what CarPlay runs through. Now, if you have Android Auto, you know, you won't need to do that. But so now I'm back into Apple CarPlay. I'm not going to do a tutorial on Apple CarPlay. I'm sure if you've used that before, you already know how to use it. But going back to the home screen, once again, you can put different widgets up here. If you have the speedometer widget, that's where the GPS module comes in handy, because it will give you the correct speed. Also, this is the main reason I include that module is, you know, your Android OS time. If you want that to be accurate, all you got to do is then, once the GPS module is installed, you have GPS time, and you just have to go into the Android settings and set your time zone correctly. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of apps on here. There's all different types of settings you can get into. Those are the Android settings. I believe there's also car settings. Yeah, car settings. You know, that's where you can set your steering wheel controls, all that type of stuff. So once again, if this head is doing something you don't like, it's probably just a setting. I know when you put it in reverse, the audio will cut out, but that's just a setting. I believe it's a sound setting. You come in here and, yeah, media volume when reversing, you can turn that off or on. Even if you don't, excuse me, have your reverse camera installed, you can make it such that it doesn't switch to the camera's input. So anyhow, a lot to see, a lot to know here. Yeah, you go to the radio app, and the first time you get there, you're going to want to hold that button down, and what that does is it scans all your FM frequencies, such that, you know, of course, you have audio. So it's picking up all the local frequencies right now. And like if I turn the volume up, yeah, so that's voice, so I won't get a copyright strike, but yeah. All right. So anyhow, you can see how that works. So anyhow, yeah, excellent upgrade for these old Civics. I would highly recommend them, and hope this install video helps you out.